My name's Libby Lossing. I have been with Mathnasium since 2013. My family owns and operates 18 locations across 5 states. So we're in San Diego, California, Phoenix, Arizona, Denver, Colorado, Dallas, Texas, and then most recently Cincinnati, Ohio. Text Request is our texting vendor and has been for a couple years now. We like them as an MCO because it's really easy to manage our texting platform across multiple locations, with multiple users logging into each profile. So I'm a huge advocate for using texting for your business. I think it's very advantageous. We have done multiple other texting vendors in the past, and this has been the one that has worked out the best for us, which is why I continue to advocate for their services. We've tried other ones that have gone under or other ones that have done different integrations. We've also been multi-brand franchisees in the past. So we've tried whatever the preferred vendor was for like other brands. But at the end of the day, Text Request has been pretty second to none for us. So I'm excited to share some best practices with texting in general and then show some of the features that are specific to this particular platform.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's start off with why text. So texting is always going to be the number one, form of communication nowadays. Most people are always having their cell phones on them. So, you're always going to be able to get a response from people, or they're at least going to see your message. And to be honest, I don't know the exact number, but I do know it sits somewhere around 15% of all emails worldwide are read within, it takes, I think, up to a couple hours for those to get opened, if they get opened. And then texting, 98% of all text are read within the first 2 minutes of being sent worldwide. So this is going to be a really great way to get your message across. And really what we specialize in doing over here, we can take your existing phone number over there, your center's existing number, and we just add our texting capabilities to it. The best way to think about this is every phone number out there has 2 profiles on it. It has an SMS profile and a voice profile. So meanwhile, you're going to continue to pay your phone bill through your current phone provider. We're just going to add our texting SMS profile to that number. And it's going to allow you to say, call or text us at this one number, but it's giving one centralized form of one place for your students and your families to be able to reach you over the phone.
Yeah, and in addition to like why texting, you've probably heard this meeting could have been an email. There's a similar logic with this call could have been a text, where it's like the unserious stuff, you don't need to pick up the phone. It's way easier that if there's something unserious, like, hey, I need to cancel today's session, or hey, we're gonna be 5 minutes late because the school carpool lane was running long, like that can be a text. That doesn't need to be a phone call. I know phone anxiety is kind of real for this like later generation. Like people do not like to speak on the phone. So having texting as an option is a convenience to your customer. It helps a lot with responsiveness. Like I know you just mentioned like how quick the open rate is. On the customer's end, like if they're in public or if they're at work where they can't necessarily take a call, they can probably fire off a text. Like right now, if someone were to call me, I'm definitely not answering my phone to take a call right now. But if someone were to text me, I could like take a glance at my phone and get the message. And then on our end, as a business, I can only handle like one customer phone call at a time, but I could handle multiple text chats at the same time where customers aren't waiting on me for a response because I can navigate multiple communications at the same time. As well as like if I'm in person and I'm doing like a parent consultation and my phone rings, I hate when my phone rings whenever I'm handling someone live because I don't want to be that person who's like, can I put you on hold? Like, just send me a text if it's possible. As well as on the parent end, there's just like a level of discretion with texting. I know sometimes like it's really hard getting in contact with the lead. And when they finally do answer the phone or get back to me, they're like, oh, hey, sorry, my kid was in the car and I didn't want to openly talk about their situation where they're hearing me speak about what's going on with them at school. So I needed to call you back when my child wasn't present. That's not an issue whenever you text a lead about their child because their kid's not reading their text while they're texting.
The other thing I'll add to the, just in terms of the platform itself, it's great for teams. Whether your center director is using it logged in or your other staff members are logged in, everybody sees every message in real time. You see responses get resolved in real time. We even have a feature too to where if somebody starts typing, it's going to let other members know that this person is typing. So there's a lot of features we'll show you today, and and how that works in a team setting. But Libby, do you want to go ahead and dive right into a few of the features that you love and that have helped you out a lot throughout the years?
Yeah, absolutely. So the dashboard's pretty key for us as far as like the user interface. I'm not sure if you want to like log in and screen share so that way they can
Yeah.
see while I talk about it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
perfect. From an MCO perspective, um, once you're logged in, which he's getting logged in here now, you can see at the very top right, there's a drop down. So right now we're on my Littleton Center. If you visit the drop down, you can see my other 17 locations that I can toggle between. It will give me a notification, like it has a little pop-up to let me know if there's any like missed text. So right now it looks like we're in the clear. Everything's been read or responded to. But it's really convenient as an MCO to be able to bounce between. Our managers, you can determine who has access to which profiles. So a single location center director doesn't need access to the rest of the team, but they need access to their centers. So you can add multiple users at various levels of access. So that way people can manage what they need to manage. And it's really easy just to quickly add them. Let's go ahead and talk about templates because I think that's our biggest time saver. So under settings, there's the ability to have templates. So for us, we have different templates that we use commonly, and we can sort them into folders. Like if you want to go to our Allen profile, I think Allen has the most folders set up right now, but they have their folders set up by whether it's, did I give you the wrong person? Let's do Frisco East, sorry.
Frisco.
Our Texas centers are the ones that are like on steroids when it comes to texting. There we go. So they have folders for communicating with leads. So the different templates of what they might say to a lead, what they might say to an active person. We use texting a lot to try and streamline our hiring and recruitment process. So they have it for applicants to communicate with them whether they're scheduling an employment exam or just giving them an update on whether or not we're going to move forward with an interview and scheduling an interview. So we have templates for our applicants. Review requests. I do review requests quarterly as well as on an ongoing basis with Listen 360. So we have a special little folder for me so that way I can send review requests really easily without having to scroll through 200 different templates. As well as whenever you create a template, you can add custom form fields. So with form fields, that's stuff like we're used to seeing in Radius, where you can have guardian first name, student first name, center name, things of that nature. So for us, we primarily use like the guardian and the student name. So you can create custom fields. I know my team's also created custom fields for like an event. So if we met them at a math night, if we met them at like a spring fling, if we met them at a trunk or treat, we'll add in where we met that lead. So that way, if we ever do an event lead specific campaign, we're trying to make it nice and personalized and tailored. You could put in the student grade where it's like, hey, let's help get Maddie ready for the 4th grade. You can put those custom fields in where you get to do mass texting while simultaneously keeping it very personal to the person that you're outreaching to. So that's a really great feature. Another great feature with text request is the ability to send, there's an industry term for it and you can correct me on it, but it's like the media rich texting where it's using like a GIF or a JPEG. In our case, we like to use PDFs a lot. We are fans of doing fun calendars. So we like to share our fun calendars in PDF form to parents. So that's really easy to text off both in bulk and personally if people are asking about it. So media rich texting is something that's gotten really exciting for us. And then one last thing I'll mention from this dashboard is that we use what's called SMS chat. That's our plugin on our website. So you can create a little chat bot, which it shows as a little pop-up in the bottom right of your microsite, both on mobile and on desktop. You can customize it so that way it looks good on your site. So like you can change it from the default text request green to being the Mathnasium red. You can change out your logo. I put a profile picture of our center director a lot of the time. you can tailor it to help people know what they need to include in their text, because you don't want someone just being like, hey, what does it cost? Okay, well, you got to give me something like, what grade is your child in? What is your name? Like, let me properly address you. If you want to open another tab, Josh,
Yeah.
we can go to mathnasium.com/4, the letter S, ranch. And we can just show what that looks like in the microsite. So from the microsite, if you give it a second, you can set what that delay is for that little chat bot to pop up in the bottom right. And then there's a secondary delay of it making a little flag to be like, hey, start a conversation with our center director. And then in lieu of a logo, I used a headshot of our center director, where it's encouraging someone to start a communication with us there, where they can just pop that open and then start a text. The most common things I see are either people with really specific situations like, hey, do you have experience working with this student who has autism? Do you have experience working with someone who needs help on SAT, ACT, things of that nature, as well as we get a lot of parents who will reach out, or sorry, not parents, a lot of like local vendors or parent organization leaders who'll be like, hey, I want to schedule a math night. Hey, will you be a vendor for our spring auction? Things of that nature. Girl Scouts reached out to us this way, where the Girl Scouts troop leader was like, hey, can we do a partnership with Mathnasium? So this is good for people who don't necessarily need to follow our primary call to action of schedule a free assessment without doing some additional discovery, and they're not interested in taking a call at this time. So SMS chat is a really great feature that, like, I didn't think of that when I thought of business texting, but that's absolutely a great use case. Separate of these awesome things that are kind of housed in the text request dashboard, something that I learned through doing ongoing trainings with text requests, like text request has a really great like customer support platform for learning how to utilize their technology to the fullest. And that's where I learned about API keys. I've never heard of API keys. I'm pretty used to, with a franchise, kind of having like cuffs on what I can do in custom tailor. With API keys specifically, this is how I was able to automate texting confirmations from AppToto. So if someone schedules an AppToto assessment, I don't like the AppToto automated texts where it comes from like a 5 or a 6-digit phone number versus like my phone number. And then the like messaging's a little clunky. So I use the API key out of AppToto and using text request to have any appointment confirmations as well as appointment reminders come through my text request platform. That way people only know one phone number for my business. There's one phone number that's going to send them confirmations. There's one phone number that they can talk to me on. There's one phone number that they can call. That way it's not like confusing my customer. But API keys are something that's really interesting that I didn't know existed personally. But it's helped our no-show rate drop significantly because people are more proactive in at least trying to reschedule based on them getting those confirmations and reminders, as well as I really like just introducing from the jump that we are a business that texts. I want them knowing that as one of our primary communication forms. That way, whenever they do convert into an account, they know that texting is an option for them versus defaulting to an email or a call. Just because I think texting, it's nice. I think you only really text people that you're a little bit more informal with, which it's more relationship-esque whenever you do it in this way, personal opinion. So I do prefer to get our customers in alignment on texting with us from the jump. Did I miss anything, Josh? I know I go kind of fast.
I was gonna say, no, you did a fantastic job there. You might need to do some demos more often for us over here. Dude, I did want to talk about reviews. Actually, that might be one thing that you missed. I know you briefly showed or talked about it, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This is our review management platform, and Libby, I don't think you have any hooked up on this dashboard. Do you have a dashboard that has reviews?
So I have access to your reviews feature. So me personally, I do it one by one with templates because I do review solicitations on behalf of all 18 of our centers.
Mhm.
Um, I like to make sure that in context, it's not like the center director is having a conversation with that parent, and then I'm coming in posing as the center director, being like, hey, can you review us, please? Because if they're mid-conversation and then I'm like, hey, review us, and I'm trying to come in really personal and not robotic, then it's like, oh, I'm a liar. Like that was completely inorganic. So I don't utilize your reviews feature in that same sense.
Okay.
Something
But
that
you
your
build them out in template.
feature, yes, it's under templates. So there's review requests in my bottom folder if you look at the bottom
Got
one.
it. Got it. And just so everybody knows, the way you pull your templates into the message, you just use this little file folder right here. And then all of your categories are going to be right over here. And so she has her review requests right here. Keep coming up. There it goes. And I could quickly throw this into the message like that.
And then you can always modify the same way with radius templates. If you need to modify something, or like if you want to add one little personal line in there, you can always modify. You're not like set in stone whenever you use a template, but that is an added convenience.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be more efficient, like there's tiers to like scalability with this. I do it one-on-one because like I have the time and energy to like be that meticulous. If I didn't care and I was like, you know what, if it pops in like the middle of someone's conversation, so be it. Certainly the reviews feature is an option. Something that we haven't talked about as a feature is that you do have a group texting option. So like I know like we kind of rarely use it. Like we'll remind people that we have a Pi Day party coming. So we'll text our entire active guardians list, hey, we have Pi Day party happening. Or if like there's a power outage for some reason, like, hey guys, sorry, there's currently a power outage. We might be closing at 5 tonight whenever the sun goes down. Things of that nature. So you could do it as a mass text if you preferred that platform. I do really like that you guys have a reviews feature, and I would be open to using it if I wasn't so like OCD type A. Something that your reviews tab does offer that I don't get because I'm not using it is that if someone were to review you, you guys get notified where you can then respond to the Google review. I pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per center monthly for SEO optimization, or sorry, that's optimization, whatever you can call SEO. I have an SEO company that works for me, and they are huge on making sure that if I get a review, I send a thank you, I acknowledge it, because that helps just further boost your Google profile. And that's a feature that you guys do have with your reviews tab, correct? Is that it helps you with making sure that you're giving a response publicly.
That's right. It lets you know which ones need a response. That way you're responding in a good time frame. So yeah, that's great. And to be honest, Google's never going to really release the secret sauce as to what's going to make one, learning center rank higher above another in a certain region. But the three things that are going to matter most are the consistency that you're getting these reviews, the total number of reviews that you can continue to get, and then that star rating that you're maintaining. You want to make sure that you're sending out these review requests pretty often. That way you can do all three of those, and then you're going to start to show up as one of the top centers in that certain region over time.
So a little bit about the reviews, because I do think that I know at least one of you came here because you wanted to hear about reviews. Because reviews is something that we are really strong at in our organization. We have 4 centers that have over 120 reviews on Google right now. And then we have 6 more that are just about to break 100. I track this stuff really closely in a spreadsheet. So I know that by end of school year, I should have 10 centers that are north of 100 Google reviews, which is a lot in our space. I compare us against our competitors and our fellow Mathnasium centers. So like I know it's a good volume of reviews. Um, it's nice to think that if you provide excellent service, that someone will just feel prompted to do you that service of writing the review. You really do have to solicit it, and solicit it often. So I solicit it quarterly. I try and make it seasonal. So like right now, if you were to look in like Frisco East history and like scroll around, you'd probably get to the point where you see like 75 people got the same text template. You might need to go to page like 2 or 3 because I might have done it a couple days ago. but I sent like a, hey, it's been a great school year. Yeah, there we go. You see the big batch of everyone got the same one, but it's personalized because it has the parent name and the student name. Um, hey, it's been a great school year. Would you mind sharing a view right now? People are looking for resources to wrap up the year / get ready for summer, that kind of thing. So a good handful of people just got that template. Whenever it was the new year, I did Valentine's themed ones where it's like, we love sharing our love of math. If you love Mathnasium, please review us. For St. Patrick's Day, I said, we feel really lucky to have your student. We'd be charmed if you would write us a review. So I do it quarterly and then I stagger it across holidays to try and make it more seasonal. But we do solicit them quarterly. And then we follow up with an email thereafter. So it's like we send this first 48 hours later, we send an email, as well as if someone gives us a 9 or a 10 on Listen 360, they get a Listen 360 review solicitation through text request. But asking and asking often, and asking on multiple platforms at like the same kind of week, that's really what's boosted our review volume.
Love it. Love it. Libby, does it make sense to go ahead and try to flip over towards our pricing page and chat about pricing a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. And I will give you guys a little plug that we have one of your higher tier programs.
Mhm.
And we just upgraded because our review volume was so high that we were constantly going like 10,000, 20,000 over. So we just upgraded like a couple weeks ago because our review volume was a lot.
Wonderful. And I think what Libby is referring to is we have a few other high volume plans. If your volume gets to be that high, we can definitely consider those. But the first thing I want to say is we are a no contract service, month to month only, and we allow our users to upgrade or downgrade at any time. And really, under your accounts tab right here, this is going to be your best place where you're going to manage your usage amongst all of your centers that you have. You'll notice down here, it'll tell you each dashboard for each center, how much volume they've sent and received and their total each month. You'll also have this usage wheel. That way you can see a total. And so you're able to keep up with this over time. So you can make long-term decisions about your account over time. But I'm going to go ahead and flip right back over here. We have 4 base plans here, and each plan has a certain set of volume that's included each month. We do go by the industry standard of 160 characters is considered one text message. So take that into consideration when you're looking at the volume that's included each month. But for example, this starter plan, this is going to give you 2,500 text messages to send and receive during that month. It also comes with 2 dashboards already included. And so again, just a reminder, a dashboard is just the phone number that you have on the account. And what's great about text request is you can add multiple dashboards for different centers for $10 per phone number. So for example, if you needed to add a third one to this starter plan, that would be an additional $10 added to that 139. So your total each month would be 149 per month, and they would be sharing that 2,500 volume amongst all 3 centers, aka dashboards. And then, of course, there is no cap on any of these plans. You can always go over the amount included. And in fact, this overage rate, that's what we call it. This is here to help you. So that way you can go over. If you needed to send 100 messages over on this plan, that would be an additional 5 cents added to that 139. And that is just there, and sometimes it can make more sense to pay the overage rate before it means it's time to pay the price of the next plan up. It's going to be more beneficial to just pay overages before you need 6,500 texts.
Yeah, my overage was over 20,000 text messages a month. So like that was like, it wasn't like I sent 2 or 3 extra. I was sending 20,000 plus extra because that's the volume of utilization that our organization has with texting.
And what I really want to say too is with our starter plan, that's when you're going to get a lot of I call them sales and marketing tools that you'll get included, because one of which is the SMS chat widget for your website, which is again down here in the bottom right corner. Another is the scheduled send button. So you can actually select a later date and time and send your messages out. And then you also get a Chrome extension. I'm not sure. I heard you mention App Toto earlier, Libby. Are you able to use our Chrome extension to
Yeah,
access App Toto?
definitely. And the other thing with your Chrome extension is that if I'm in Radius, which is our CRM, I know I'm speaking to the audience more so than I am to Josh. with Radius, if I'm in Radius and like I'm on a customer profile, if I hover over the phone number, I get the like widget to do Ring Central calling, and I get the widget to send a text through text request. So if there's a phone number on my screen, like AI must just know it's there and try and prompt me to text people. But that's convenient, as well as being able just to get the notifications if I'm not on that Chrome tab. You hear the chime. And I like that that's a feature that I can edit. It's something like you guys have so many understated features where someone must have brought it to y'all's attention, and then like it's an added benefit to me. But like I can change my like texting tone. I can change how frequently it reminds me that I have an unread text that's just like sitting there on my desktop, because like maybe I want that chime every 30 seconds, maybe I want it every 5 minutes, maybe I only want you to tell me once and it's like I get to it when I get to it. But like those little things, just like you mentioning, like multiple of us can text, like my ACD, my CD, my RD, us as owners, like we all text on the platform. So knowing when someone's already like mid draft and having that little widget show me like someone else is already texting, I don't need to get in here, is super convenient. Some other features, like I'll call them like tier 2 features, because like they're not the end of the world for me, but like they are pretty nice. You guys have signature settings where like you can either do a public signature where anytime someone sends a text, it's like you can probably go to our Forest Ranch Center. I feel like they use it the most if you go to Forest Ranch.
Okay.
But like which of my ACDs sent a reply? Which of my CDs, was it my admin assistant? Well, it's not loading correctly. That's fine. But like that way, if we send a text message, it's acknowledging who sent it. So there's that external one where the customer is seeing who's texting them, as well as there's an internal one. Like clearly they were just using their center profile. But if my admin assistant was texting from her profile, I know who was to cred for a certain text. Where if say it wasn't the most polished message, I can see who sent it to be like, okay, you guys, like let's work on our, yeah, there's math paperwork. That's our admin assistant. So I can see who's responsible for certain messaging. Young Guns are regional. I was the one on the bottom. So it's helpful for me to see like if there wasn't a polished text, who can I do corrections with?
Perfect.
So many
Perfect.
features. How do we only have 30 minutes to
I
talk?
know it's we could probably go another 30 minutes if we wanted, but I think too, with text requests, we're just a well-rounded platform. We're represented in about 100 different industries. So just like you said, Libby, we were able to listen to our customers over time. We've added a lot of features that work really well for a lot of other industries. And so yeah, we think we have a really well-rounded platform.